The time has come to talk about Trinity, daughter of Wonder Woman, once more. Trinity has gotten her own 2025 miniseries, entitled Trinity, daughter of Wonder Woman, Crisis of Infinite Corgis. And there's a lot going on here, including some Silver Age deep cuts baked into the premise. And no, it's not the Corgis. We first talked about Trinity on this channel back when she debuted in Wonder Woman 800. That was in 2023, so it's been years. What is time? I'm Sasha, this is Casually Comics, and it's time to talk about yet another Wonder Girl. Trinity was created by Tom King and Daniel Sampere, and is named Elizabeth Marston Prince, and is oftentimes called Lizzie. Her name is a nod to Wonder Woman creator William Moulton Marston, and also his wife Elizabeth, who played a key role in her creation as well. Her debut initially came as one of the stories in this Wonder Woman 800, which featured many. It was kind of an anthology compilation issue. And she's just dropped right in the lead up to the new Wonder Woman storyline, but without much grounding or backstory. The setup is very much meant to be that she is a sassy, kind of bratty, younger sibling to John and Damian. That's the kind of energy it's bringing, which for some veered quite quickly into abrasive, while others found the brashness endearing. Seriously, why is it so hard to get you boys to do anything right? I'm late because I was fighting 12 deities, and that takes a little time. Please forgive me. I regret it so. And you didn't see me because I don't know, like better than you at all the things? Is this news? That I don't regret, but you probably do. So I'm sorry about you doing the regretting, if that helps. If it doesn't, that's not on me. Boys, if you'd like to stay behind and be all craven, that's perfectly fine. Don't be ashamed or anything. Sadly, I don't have time right now to dig a hole in the sand for you to stick your heads in, so you'll have to do that part on your own. But rest assured, I have full confidence in your ability to get it done. Mileage very much varied on this. For some, it slid into the sibling dynamic. For others, because there wasn't any grounding and it just came essentially in some ways out of nowhere, it made Trinity come across as highly unlikable. Now, during issue 800, Trinity had to go through some trials with John and Damian, and they very much sacrificed some things for her to get where she needed to be, which was to talk to the Sovereign, who was going to tell her a tale that would be ongoing until Wonder Woman number 19 in 2025. That's when the story he was telling her concluded. Now, at the start in Wonder Woman 800, it's presented as the story of how Wonder Woman defeated him. But as for Trinity herself, while there were some positive traits in there, it was shown that she did care about John and Damian. A lot of it was buried by her overbearing cockiness. And lots of the information, like about how John and Damian used to babysit her, was just given in exposition. It's not something that the reader had seen at that point. And there was another factor at the time to consider as well. At the time, her creation further adds to the displacement of the recently created Yara Flor Wonder Girl, colloquially dubbed the Brazilian Wonder Woman. Yara had been set to explore a different type of folklore and was part of the curtailed 5G initiative of 2021, but she had a short-lived solo series, and some were fond of the character and felt that she had a lot of potential. So for some, that set up a bit of a rivalry between the characters. While Trinity felt more well-worn and like something that some readers had seen before, Wonder Woman has had children before, Lyta, never forget, Yara for some felt like something a bit different, some unexplored territory. And still others felt that there were other Wonder Girls to use if one really wanted a Wonder Girl, like Cassie or Donna. However, Tom King kept using Trinity, and clearly has a fondness for the character, as interviews have gone on about him using his own children and their relationships as inspiration. And as of issue 3 of Tom King's Wonder Woman run, so beginning in 2023, Trinity started to appear in backup stories. While she would appear kind of sporadically inside the main stories themselves, because the Sovereign was telling her the story, these backup stories would center around her. And here she would start to get fleshed out, and it would start to showcase the dynamic that was talked about in Wonder Woman 800. It was young Lizzie being babysat by John and Damian, and just shenanigans for the most part. It had quite a different tone from the main stories. It was very light-hearted and fun, and was going for, and at times achieved, cute. Dude, you hear that? When Diana finds out what you taught her, I can save the dam. I honestly don't think I can save you. Lizzie, listen, that's not a Lizzie word. That's a Damian and John were a big brother word. You can't use those, right? Because if your mother, she'll strangle me. Wait, where's John? As mentioned, shenanigans. Those backup stories were very much in the same kind of vein that this Trinity miniseries is. And the way that these stories were initially positioned to the main book was quite the juxtaposition. For some, a welcome palate cleanser after the heavier main story, while for others, whiplash. And over time, these backups were collected in a special, Trinity Special number 1, in 2024. And this special did something quite clever. It reordered the appearances. Instead of having them appear the way they had in real time with the Wonder Woman 800 story first, it instead placed the backups first and placed that one at the end. And as a result, for anyone who was coming into Trinity through that special, it contextualized a lot of Lizzie's attitudes and already presented her dynamic with the boys as brothers. And so if read in that order, there's a stronger chance to find her less abrasive and grating, if one found her to be that way in the first place. And also the dynamics that are being discussed in Wonder Woman 800 are already firmed up. So it's one of those things where going forward, that ordering really works in her favor. And it may be the order that more people come to her with. It also made her feel like she'd been around for longer by working her history in like that through these in the future backups. And inside its own stories, it does sell the idea that she views John and Damian like brothers. Trinity also got a second special that collected the remainder of her backups, Trinity World's Finest special in 2024. So since her debut, every year, time of recording, she's gotten some kind of special feature or mini. And that kind of thing can really help a character build, just having them around. Plus, it started some of the Corgi shenanigans we're about to further explore. Also, you did start to get moments where characters would start to kind of call her out for her brashness. Her bravado, as the Sovereign calls it. Yes, it's the villain calling her out, but at least somebody's doing it. That was in issue 19 of Wonder Woman. You look like her, but you're stupid like him. You've confessed to killing my father? By the law of the Amazons, I have every right to break your neck. Neck snap club. Do it. Your mom's already part of it. Well, it is a philosophical question, we suppose. Do dead women still have lives? What did you say? You thought us ignorant, young one, disguising your true intentions here with bravado and arrogance. He says disguising with bravado and arrogance, but it very much seems like those are just base core Trinity character traits. Now, in terms of where Trinity is situated, she's from a possible future. It's kind of nebulous time of recording, potentially in the wait and see how popular the character is realm of existence. However, that phrasing of possible future, it may tie into something else. We'll get to it. Put a pin. Also, in terms of her position as Wonder Girl, King did utilize all the Wonder Girls together in his run, even Yara. So again, for some, depending on when they came in, they may be sated that Trinity is more slotting in, while others have still not been won over by Trinity. But will this mini do it? Well, let's take a look at number 1. I'll show you mine. It's already been through some things. I don't know if you can see it on the cover, but it's seen things. This issue is written by Tom King with art by Belen Ortega and colors by Alejandro Sanchez. It also has a core premise that harkens back to the Silver Age, and that's that it features 3 Trinities. Basically, Wonder Tot, Wonder Girl, and Wonder Woman in a way, all hanging out together. This is something that occurred in the Silver Age. We did a whole video on this period and how it arose largely by a lack of editorial cohesion and just seeming lack of care developing over time. But there was an era where there were 3 Dianas at the same time, and these were dubbed impossible tales. Potentially there might be a play there with the whole possible future for Trinity. Do you see the connection? Is that a stretch? Now, this era of the impossible tales, it actually led to a bunch of confusion that led to the accidental creation of Wonder Girl, Donna Troy, because one of the writers thought that she was a separate character when really it was a young version of Diana. It created a whole kerfuffle, and Donna Troy has not had a non-complicated origin since. However, at the start, they weren't actually existing at the same time at all. The first issue of this, Wonder Woman 124 from 1961, is actually a story where Hippolyta is splicing together footage she had saved of Diana at different ages to make it look like they're all hanging out together. And for a while, that's what was going on, and the stories would always make it clear when that was happening. But slowly, things start to go off the rails, and they start to be presented as existing at the same time. Cause, again, we did a whole video, I'll link it down below. But on top of there being these 3 different Dianas, some of them would also have their own little adventures, and some have a very fond remembrance of these little Wonder Tot antics. And this mini so far is channeling a lot of that energy. But even so, does it land? Finally, we're going in. The story opens on Pariah, yes, of Crisis on Infinite Earths. It's actually his attempts to study the multiverse that start off Crisis, because it draws the Anti-Monitor's attention his way, and it's through his tech that he's able to start doing things like trying to destroy the multiverse. Pariah's fate would have him bound to the Anti-Monitor, and he'd be doomed to travel to realities where the Anti-Monitor was set to destroy them. He's not okay. He's very traumatized, which in this is played for some over-the-top comedic drama. Don't you people understand that there is no point in running? Or maybe they do understand. They see their world fading, fraying before their terrified eyes. 10,000 years of civilization stolen without explanation or alternatives. Oh, they understand too well. But they run because they fear prayer is not enough. While I cannot run from this plague that swallows earth after earth, No, I am drawn to it, forced to observe the death rattle of the multiverse. How much must I suffer for my sins before I may be spared the witnessing of these horrors? Pariah is sucked into a world of pure chaos, which features Lizzie, the littlest Lizzie chasing a corgi. Crisis of Infinite Corgis. And they use the same font as Crisis and Infinite Earths on the cover. Don't think I don't notice. It's noted. Another cursed day, another dead universe. I am again to bear witness to the destruction of the infinite crisis. The agony of my sight matched on the alarum of the innocent screams.
Excuse me, sir. Did you see where my super corgi puppy went?
Oh, forsaken child, know you not the pittance an animal is in this maelstrom of the inevitable destruction that I, Pariah, must experience time after time after time after horrendous, soul-ripping, hideous time.
So, Mr. Piranha?
Now, a lot of this issue is going to depend upon a couple of things. One is how well the humor lands, because this is attempting to be humorous. That whole pariah piranha joke, it's going to run through the entire issue. It's going to do that kind of joke thing. There's a term for it. If I remember it, I'll insert it on the screen, where the joke goes so far it becomes unfunny, but then it keeps going and comes around again and becomes funny again, in theory. So if one is resonating with the humor of this work, it's going to go over a lot better. Another element is the child characters, if one finds them enjoyable / cute or believable. Because if any of those things don't happen, that is the majority of this book. And so if that's the case, then it most likely will not land. Wonder Tie is presented as precocious, but not overly adult. She doesn't sound like one of those mini adults in a kid body. She's also doing a contemporary version of the caveman speech that they used to give toddlers in the Silver Age, where they would be walking around going, "Superboy want food." Instead, she occasionally calls things by the wrong name, like calling the time stream the time cream. As discussed earlier, Trinity has a bit of obnoxiousness baked into the base model of her character. And that's maintained across all versions of her, so she'll argue with herself. And some of it is lightly mocking. It seems to be acknowledging a bit tongue-in-cheek that this is part of the character, which if that's the case, that is very fun. Now, since Pariah seems sad, Wonder Tot starts telling him about her day and how she's come to be tracking super corgis, which starts with Damian and John arguing who would win in a fight, Batman or Superman. The classic, my dad could beat up your dad. However, Damian and John get so involved in this argument that they end up ignoring little Lizzie. And she goes outside and she starts to feel sad because they're arguing about their dads and she has no dad. And that's when she meets a slightly older version of herself. Oh, please, stop with the sniveling and the drama already. Elizabeth Marston Prince, you're the daughter of Wonder Woman. Try to act like it. We use special font and everything.
So it was me, but in the future, and I was a teenager. And I even had a costume already. And a real superhero name, Wonder Girl.
Oh dear Lord. Pariah, the audience standing. Now, Wonder Girl had come back in time to cheer her child self up because she remembered being sad at this point. But she's also there to show off and give her younger self terrible advice, like it's better to ask forgiveness than for permission. Trinity villain arc when? I'd be here for that. Evil Trinity, let's go.
You're so cool.
Oh, I know. Completely unrelated, but do you think that the younger version of you would think the older version of you is cool? Did you end up where you wanted or where your younger self thought you would? Would young you like old you, do you think? Is that getting too deep? Well, we also have some more potential emotional angst incoming. Because since little Lizzie was sad about her dad being dead, she assumes that this older version has come to do something about that. And the meltdown she has, it's so dramatic. The whole, no one can help me. It rings very true to actual toddlers / young child meltdowns. The 0 to 100 nature of it, the intense over the top, that genuine melodrama, those feelings are that big. There are a couple of moments like that in this issue where the kids come across as very authentic, and it does make it read better. Now, in a quest to solve all this, they go off to find the oldest Lizzie who'll be part of our plot, who really is not having it with her teen / tween self. I don't think you're listening to me, which is a bit of a shock as I am known to be a great listener. I cannot do anything for you and you cannot do anything at all. Go home. Now, initially when the series was announced months back, it was billed as a bit of a who is the father kind of mystery, but over time that has shifted because who the father is seems to have been revealed to be Steve Trevor. That seems to be what they're going with. I always say seems in time of recording because sometimes they pull a retcon on you and you never know. It's almost a compulsion at this point. You never know when it's going to be 5 years in the future and someone's going to stumble upon the video and be like, aha! Gotcha, video from the past. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. Now the series has a bit more of a can they save her father type vibe with the shenanigans of all the corgis. Also, the fates are there. Now, because they've messed with the time stream, somehow, ergo, the boys have become corgis, and now they need to hunt them down. The panels of Wondertop playing with the corgis are really cute. The joy comes through. And the rest of the comic is more of the same. It's little Lizzie explaining to Pariah how she came to be where they are against either the sights of just this universe collapsing or actually in flashback. That's my time bubble! No! Ugh, we're in so much trouble. So very much trouble. I know. Please, I didn't mean to swear. On the whole, this issue has a fairly unserious, as the kids say, time of recording vibe. Watch, it's gonna be the future and unserious is gonna make it into the dictionary. What this is unabashedly what it is. An over-the-top adventure of three Trinities trying to collect corgis across a potentially damaged time stream and save their dad.
Super corgi puppy!
I could use it. Go into the future, flee this perdition. You could save me.
I found you!
Forget the animal. Think of me. Poor piranha.
Pariah.
Whatever. If one thinks this issue is cute or fun, it's very much setting itself up that way, and so if one is connecting with it will most likely be an enjoyable ride. Now, if the humor grated, if one felt sorry for Pariah and didn't want to laugh at him, or if one still finds Trinity annoying or was hoping for a more serious premise and this work didn't sway them to liking her more, then it may not be up their alley. The art is very expressive in this, in the faces. It's veering a bit towards cartoonish or even slightly anime inspired at points, which matches with the energy, but may not be what everyone is looking for if they want a more standard superhero type fare. Similarly, there isn't much action to be found here. It's a very talky issue, very dialogue heavy. And what little action there is off-time played for laughs. R.I.P. Ultraman, you were in this book. There is a bit of a mystery as to can they save Steve Trevor? How is he going to interconnect with them because you briefly see him? Are they going to be able to change fate in a way? This could be gearing up for, one of those really sad moments where it's fun, and then bam, hits you right in the feels. This series does also work a bit better if one has read the other backups. Since as mentioned, the first appearance of corgis in the time stream, it's during the world's finest backups, but you can get by without them. Overall, this is more geared towards a younger audience, but it does also acknowledge that there are going to be some older folks who will read it with some of the references and characters used. But if one is willing to engage with it on that level in those terms that it is also aiming younger, it may also be more enjoyable. I will say my daughter did pick this up, and I don't know if you can tell on camera, but there's cookie crumbs on it. There's all kinds of things. She's read it. Oh, this poor comic. It's the white cover, everything's gonna show up. And for those who are curious for an 8-year-old review, 4 out of 5 stars. It lost a star because she wanted to know about the silver lasso that was on the cover, and the answers were not forthcoming on the inside. It gained stars for corgis and cuteness. I will admit to a bias because my daughter liking a comic does greatly increase my own level of enjoyment of it. It endears me towards it because there's that whole continuing on of generational fandom. For me, that's part of the fun of the hobby, being able to share it. And so when that happens and fun is had, it makes me feel like the comic has accomplished what it set out to do. However, even outside of that, this comic is very much embracing a lighter hearted tone, and it's taking a bit of a child's eye view to some of the dark imagery and concepts that are floating around inside. And it really does give a clear glimpse to the character of Trinity. And again, it's embracing some of those Silver Age elements that many works time for recording 2025 seem to be. But now I have questions for you. Does this work for you? Did you enjoy it? Does it make you feel like Trinity has a place? Do you want to turn that possible future into a not impossible story and make it an actual future? That was smoother in my mind. It didn't happen. It would have been better to just turn it from a possible future to just the future or something like that. Not every book needs to have the energy of Trinity, Daughter of Wonder Woman, but most don't time for recording. These kind of books are still more outliers, and I think there's a place for them. These little minis that can be gateways. There's still plenty of serious book out there. It's certainly a better showcase than her first appearance, but most things are. Although, again, you may disagree. You may have loved that. So what are your thoughts? Too many Wonder Girls? I want to hear everything you're thinking. Please put it down below. While you're down there, please do all the YouTube things. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification so that you never miss a vid. Thanks so much for taking some time to spend discussing comics with me. I always appreciate it, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye. That got really high-pitched at the end there. Bye-bye.